baby is supposed to be a happy time, right? Today we're giving birth to the 5 craziest pregnancy stories
that get increasingly more insane.
Starting with number 5. My sister-in-law announced her pregnancy at dinner to lighten the mood, and I think she's the a-hole. This is OKOP, home to the craziest true stories on earth. I'm Sophia, and John, what do you think? Is the sister-in-law an a-hole?
I mean,
based off of zero
context?
She announced her pregnancy.
One would hope that announcing your pregnancy is actually a joyous occasion and not an a-hole move.
You'd be wrong.
I'm sorry.
This comes from Ab's Throwaway. About a week ago, me, 24 female, my brother Jack, 26 male, my dad, and some other close family members went on a trip to Tunisia, where my mother, who died in a car accident about 2 years ago, was from, to discover a little more about her life and our ancestors. On this trip, my brother decided to bring his wife, Julie, 26 female, and I brought my husband. Up till now, I had not had any issues with Julie, as I don't know her very well. She and my brother met and got married during COVID and live quite far, so I have only seen her 2 or 3 times before this trip. So, the incident occurred on the second to last day of the trip when we all went out to dinner. I think that it's important to note that this whole trip was to remember and celebrate my mother. She died around the beginning of COVID where I live, so we didn't get a proper funeral for her. And the day we went out to dinner was her birthday. I'm beginning to see how this pregnancy announcement might not be the best timing.
Yeah, put an ICU in the comments.
See.
If you know what's about to go down.
Yes, and also I'm sorry to OP for your loss. At the beginning of the dinner, my dad said a short speech basically thanking everyone for coming and honoring my mother's life. Before he even got the chance to sit down, Julie stood up and announced that her and Jack are expecting a baby. The entire table went silent, with only a few quiet congratulations.
Congrats.
Instead of reading the room and sitting back down, Julie ran up to me with a big, obnoxious grin and asked me if I was excited to be an auntie. I stayed silent, trying not to ruin what was left of this train wreck of a dinner, and she said that she was just trying to lighten the mood with some good news.
Oh, okay.
John, what do you think? Did she lighten the mood?
Yeah, let's break this down a little bit.
Yeah.
So, like, could one argue that Julie's intentions were good?
I can see where the attention-seeking claims might pop up.
Yeah, that's so tricky because it's like
it's good news.
It is good news, and it could have been a true like misfire in terms of like, hey, let me try to lighten the mood.
But I also think when you're at a funeral, because this is basically the equivalent of the funeral because they didn't have a funeral.
That is such a good point.
Yeah, if you're at a funeral and someone's like, and like we're here today to talk about this person that we deeply cared for, and then someone was like,
I'm pregnant.
I'm having a baby.
There's a baby in here.
I'm waiting for like congratulations.
Do you want to say congratulations to me?
Yeah.
Are you excited?
That'd be weird. This is when I cracked and yelled at her that she wasn't trying to benefit anyone but herself and that she was a selfish attention seeker. I walked out, followed by my husband and then my dad. From what I gather, the dinner was pretty much ruined after that, and the whole family had left before they ordered any food. Now, I do understand that she could have seen it as a good opportunity as the entire family was all together, but after talking with my brother, I found out that they had known for a month before the trip, so they could easily have announced it before. Yeah, they were together the whole week, right?
Yeah. Why choose right after he made the speech is
right
crazy.
After. That's insane. My dad is staying neutral on this, and my brother is angry at me for embarrassing his wife, but understands my point of view. Some family members and Julie's mom are now calling me a B over text for ruining an important moment for her. So am I the a-hole? There's an edit, but do we want to comment on
let's break that down real quick. So, I mean, you could argue that maybe
because I shouldn't, like, she said attention
seeking
not seeking.
Yeah, she is probably really this is her time to grieve right now.
She didn't get a funeral, and so she's probably very emotional.
It's kind of hard to blame OP for snapping to some degree.
Yes, I agree.
Right, like it's just a lot to be going through, and then and I think also the fact that she I feel like if Julie said it and then kind of sat down, it would have like smoothed over, but it seemed like Julie kept like hey,
she's like, be happy for me.
Are you happy for me?
You're
gonna look look, like, see, are you yeah. So
especially because she said that she wanted to lighten the mood.
Yeah.
Right after that, which is like, it's not the time. I mean, there's times when you don't want to lighten the mood and you want to kind of sit in that solemnity.
Yeah. Like lightening the mood is actually like way worse.
Way worse.
You know, maybe it was like an a-hole move, but I get it.
Yeah.
Like I kind of get it.
I get it.
I can't really blame her.
Edit, to answer some questions, my brother said that they had spoken about announcing it to my family, but had no idea she was going to do it at that time. I don't know for sure who sent Julie's mom my number, but based on evidence, I think I can assume it's Julie. I have sent the screenshots of messages I have received to my brother and blocked them. Thank you all for the insightful comments and support, and not so much support. Oh,
ouch.
Just being mean. I will be going over to Julie's house, 2 hours and 45 minutes away, far from me, but not impossible, to talk things through and maybe post an update based on how it goes. Were the comments negative towards OP? Because it seems like based off of that, like, are there any comments? Because I feel like based off of this, I'm kind of on OP's side.
I'm on OP's side, but I
do. Yeah, I understand how it might be a little harsh, but I think that's not the time to bring that up. Oh yeah. Also, the fact that the brother didn't know that she was going to do that, I feel like that's you have to have a conversation with your partner before you announce.
That is another great point.
Another,
it is kind of like a big thing to do, and
like both sides to be ready.
It's kind of a cop out to be like, oh, we talked about it, when it's like, well, we didn't say we were gonna do it. Like, oh yeah, we want to tell them, but like we don't have a specific time and place. And I just like.
And then Julie chose the worst time.
The absolute worst time possible.
Yeah.
I mean, Opie driving 2 hours and 45 minutes to that.
Yeah. To seemingly apologize?
I would just do a phone call.
I would just do a phone call. I want to know what the comments say.
Guilt tripped her.
Okay, no, but a lot of people are saying not the a-hole. Upbeat ad 4822. I still don't understand why people think they can give out your number to people who want to berate you, block those people, or change your number. She just became the bigger a-hole when she did that. Julie giving her mother OP's number.
Which is...
to call her up.
That is super whack.
Weird. That's weird.
Super whack.
Yeah.
It's one thing if it's like, hey, my mom wants to talk to you, but that's still weird.
Hey, my mom wants to talk to you. You're a bee. That would be crazy. Abs throw. So OP
so this
says,
is OP. Yep.
Yeah. I have no clue how Julie's mom and now her best friend too. Oh, I thought.
And now Julie's. Yeah.
I thought it was saying Julie's mom was her best friend.
Yeah. My mom is my bestie. How dare you?
Julie's mom
Julie's best friend
and Julie's best friend.
Right.
Separate people. Got my number, but I can't see who it could be other than Julie or my brother. Yeah. No. How would Julie's mom and best friend get OP's number?
Going through yellow pages crazy.
It's like, where is this person? And then Awkward Girl 34 says, the way I'd be sending screenshots to my brother saying, deal with this before I do. OP says, great answer. I might steal it from you.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, that's true. No, it seems like the comments are mostly on OP's side. So
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe they were getting pressure from other people.
There's probably a few. I mean, like I imagine like when these people post, they literally skim through like all of the comments
until
and find
you see some
the negative ones, and they're just like sticking out in their brains.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Final verdict. We have reached the whole story.
This person.
Just kidding.
Yeah. Raspberyllium says, sister-in-law is the a-hole for giving OP's number to her mom and allowing her mom to berate OP. She's also the a-hole for not discussing this announcement with her husband first. OP is the a-hole for her disproportionate reaction to a social misstep. There are a dozen other ways she could have handled this that would have expressed her displeasure without blowing up. Also for claiming the fact that sister-in-law had known about the pregnancy for a month as partial justification for calling her an attention leap. Lots of people keep pregnancies a secret until they are further along. I don't know. And I don't know. I feel like when you're at a funeral, you're for like your mother, you're allowed to have a couple. Yeah. If it's a social misstep for the sister-in-law, it's allowed to be a social misstep for OP.
If this was like maybe just like a regular family dinner or something, that'd be different. I think it is a-hole, but I'll give her the pass because of the funeral and like all the emotions that come with that.
I don't think in the context OP is an a-hole.
Yes, there we go.
I
had a miscarriage and my friend keeps reminding me of it. Should I go no contact? Sophia.
I think maybe. If they keep bringing it up, and I mean, if they know about it too, That's, yeah.
My question is, do they keep bringing it up because they know it is painful?
Yeah.
Not like, oh, did you go to your OB-GYN recently? Or, I'm going to be contrarian and go stay in contact because you went no contact.
Okay.
So this one comes from deleted. I, 25 female, have had 2 miscarriages. OP, I am very sorry about that. Awful. Once when I was 21 and then again when I was 23. Both were unplanned pregnancies, but were a happy surprise until I lost them. I've always wanted to be a mother and have been teased mercilessly by my family and friends for saying I love a big family. Okay, I thought the OP was going to say I was teased mercilessly for the miscarriages.
I was about to be horrified.
Okay, for a big family, okay. Still
after the miscarriages or before?
I'm guessing on both at like all times.
That's
both ways. I know a lot of you will find this in poor taste, but following both those events, I would make miscarriage jokes with my best friend.
I think that's fine if you make jokes about your own
that's
thing. Like dark humor about your own thing, like trying to get through it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
I think humor is how I've always dealt with my trauma, and this was no different. Things like, my sister asked me to babysit. Is she really sure that's a good idea given my track record of keeping kids alive? Damn, OP. God dang. Yeehaw. All right, Sam, I got a local one for you.
Ooh, local.
Red flag or green flag, they smell like In-N-Out.
I want to lick that little bitty up because I love being In-N-Out burger.
So what's the verdict?
Box. Green flag.
Green flag.
And you know what else I want to munch on?
What?
Our new drop at okop.show/shop.
That's right. If you were an eater and you eat it for lunch, then you can get one of our 50 hats, hoodies, or overalls as a part of our drop that ends February 9th.
And if you support this drop, you'll get a chance to be featured on the show and maybe even get interviewed.
That's right. So be a munch for you boys. Support the show and go to okop.show/shop before the drop ends February 9th or before we run out.
Get it.
My husband and I have been actively trying to fall pregnant since September last year with no luck. My best friend told me that she was starting to try in January and fell pregnant that same month. I couldn't help but feel envy, but I was also incredibly happy for her. I might be an a-hole for expecting her to be a mind reader, but I thought it would be obvious that given the new stages of our lives, miscarriage jokes would no longer be appropriate, and I hadn't made any myself in over a year. However, there have been quite a few sprinkled in over the last few months. I never acknowledged them and just skip right over them in conversation, hoping that she would be able to read the room. I didn't want to address them head on for fear of coming across bitter. Okay, I want to pause right here. What should OP do in this scenario?
Unfortunately, I think that she does need to talk to her friend if those jokes are making her uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like, I think context clues, some people might be able to figure out, hey, probably shouldn't make those jokes anymore.
Yeah.
But because the precedent was set before in the friendship by OP that like they could make those jokes, I think just saying like, hey, just because I had this other thing happen and like I'm really happy for you, but I just have a lot of stuff going on, so can we not make those jokes? I think that's something that needs to be said.
Yeah, like I don't think OP asked like, am I an a-hole for not being a mind reader? Absolutely not.
No, not at all.
But it totally could be, given that you like kind of introduced it in the friendship.
Might not be clear.
She's kind of like coasting on that, and it might not have occurred to her. Maybe she's like, oh, they're helping. Like they're still her coping mechanism, right? Which I mean, possible to think that, but there's more to the story. Everything came to a head this past weekend when my best friend had her baby shower. I provided a cake, cookies, and decorations for the day, as well as running the party games for her. She had told me that another one of our friends wouldn't be coming as she had suffered a miscarriage and it would be hard for her to attend. What about OP, who planned the whole thing? Adding this detail to show my best friend is capable of empathy, just apparently not for me.
I think she's just being a little bit the friend is being a little bit oblivious.
Yeah.
Like it's clear over here because we know the context that like, oh yeah, you shouldn't be making those jokes. That's a hard thing, especially when you're trying to go to a baby shower. But yeah, I think I think it seems that your OP's friend is just a little bit oblivious.
Also, I feel like this other friend told the best friend that.
Yeah, that
right?
like, hey, I can't come because it's
too
hard,
raw.
right? It's too raw right now.
Yeah.
So maybe they already had that conversation.
Maybe the best friend is, again, still kind of like coasting and being oblivious on like, oh, well, maybe. Yeah. Although I will say it's much easier to give her the like oblivious pass in the beginning. Now that it's directly with the miscarriage,
that's true.
The oblivious card, it's a little slipping away now. A little bit.
Yeah. She's just not being very considerate to maybe OP.
Yeah, not super empathetic.
Yeah.
There were no less than 5 miscarriage jokes made at my expense throughout the day.
Not at the baby shower.
Whoa.
Not at the baby shower.
Whoa. Final one being when a friend said, "This game was so fun. Hopefully your baby shower will be the next one and we can play it again." To which my best friend replied, "If she can keep one in there."
Yeah, I gotta take away the pass.
Oh,
that's horrible.
I made eye contact with her and just blandly said, "Stop," and she didn't make another joke. Later in the day, when she opened her gifts, again, I was trying to be enthusiastic and happy for her. She opened a set of books that I remembered from my childhood, and I said, "Oh my goodness, I love those books." To which she loudly replied in front of everyone, "Well, it's not your baby shower."
What?
Y'all, that's not even a joke.
That's not even a joke.
It's just being an a-hole. Like,
yeah.
Come on. I think I broke at that point. I stopped being enthusiastic and engaging in conversation or reacting to her gifts.
Yeah.
As soon as she was done and people started leaving, I said I would also be going, even though we had initially planned for me to stay back and help pack up. You do not need to do that, OP. My
you did
goodness.
so much already.
For real? You planned the whole thing with biscuit, everything.
Yeah.
Everything. My best friend asked if she had upset me, and I just nodded. She said she had only been joking and didn't mean anything seriously. I didn't want to get into it with her and upset her on her day, so I just left. The more I think about it, the more bitter I get because I feel like I have been so happy for her and she is just rubbing it in my face.
Yeah.
We've read the whole story.
Yeah.
How are we feeling?
I think that it seems like OP's best friend is being very oblivious and very unempathetic, especially on it seems pretty obvious to me. Like if I was at a baby shower, I'd be like, even if I was making jokes, like those kind of jokes with my friend, I'd be like, oh, well, this is a baby shower for my baby that I'm having. Maybe I should be a little bit more.
Right?
Yeah. Maybe I should like think about that. But I think if it's your best friend, you should have that conversation.
Yeah.
I think you have to be like direct with her and be like, hey, that's not okay. And if she still does it, that's when you're like, okay, no contact.
Yeah, I think the best friend is definitely the a-hole. Like as we got later, there were just so many opportunities for
her to like realize, especially when OP was like, stop, and then she did it again.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that was supposed to be another miscarriage joke or if it was just like.
I think what that was is she opened one of the gifts and it was like one of the books from her childhood. And she was just like, oh, I love these books from my childhood. And then she's like, oh, well, it's not your baby shower. Like, that's the vibe that I got from it.
Well, OP might have even if it wasn't the friends of attention, it might have been interpreted as another.
100%.
Yeah.
I think this person is the best friend, is definitely the a-hole. OP, not the a-hole. But you know what I don't want us to stop doing?
Another story?
Reading more stories, Sophia. Let's get into one.
My sister thinks I have to care for her baby because I'm the aunt. Should I stop? Miss Fleming says, so my sister is pregnant and because I knit, she has asked me to make baby blankets and the like. I agreed to do so as a gift to her and the baby. I'm not charging her for my time or any of the materials I have used. I'm not making anything other than the blanket as I often cook for her and her boyfriend and will be looking after the baby for free. That was really nice.
Yeah, that's good.
Good
so
aunt.
far, so good.
So far, so good. The entitlement started when she messaged me to ask if I would do a photo shoot for her, as I did photography as a GCSE and own a camera. I asked if I would get paid, as I would have to travel to her and use my time to do the photo shoot and then edit the images. And she said, no.
Obviously not.
Nah. I would get food or drink as she wasn't going to pay the photographer who she was planning on hiring. Wait, what? Okay.
I have no budget for the person I'm hiring.
I told her no. And she said that as her sibling, I should do it. She said I should do it even though we don't live in the same city and that she would pay for a taxi. I told her that paying for a taxi is not the same as paying me. She said she would ask my twin, and I told her to do that then. If enough people want it, I have screenshots of the conversation. I do want it.
I would love to see it.
Edit. I keep getting comments saying that it's not entitled and that's what families are for. Me and my sister are not close. We never have been, and she's often extremely rude to me. My gift to her is the blanket which I'm knitting for her. We have several other sisters who aren't getting/making anything for her, so I think it's unfair to say that families should do stuff like this. I'm also a full-time college student with a part-time job for the people saying that she's not asking too much. Before we move on, what are your thoughts so far?
I don't know if you've heard this expression. This is a Southern expression. Looking a gift horse in the mouth.
I have heard that expression. Yeah.
See, there you go.
I think asking a little too much.
Too much. You're already getting a gift. The blanket, which
Cooks
is also
for her.
an adorable gift, by the way.
That's a great gift.
And now you're like, I think things often get dicey when like a family member asks you to do something that's like their paid profession for free.
Yeah, they're like, oh, well, you like, this is your job and I'm your family member, so do it for free.
And it's like, well, but I have to like
it's time.
Travel and like take my time, and
especially
then,
the traveling.
Yeah, and also I feel like your family member, if they're gonna ask you to do it for free, will be even more entitled to be like, oh no, like I didn't like this. Can you just like redo it? And like gonna be a mess.
Yeah, exactly.
Gonna be a mess.
True. Edit too. Okay, thank you all so much for the upvotes. This blew up way quicker than I thought possible. Thank you for the silver award. I'm 17 and I usually get the bus everywhere, and from my city to hers takes 3 hours when there's little to no traffic.
She's 17?
And having to do all that?
Bro, stop. What is this? Bro.
Taking advantage of your 17-year-old sister.
Come on.
I don't run a photography business, and I was only planning on charging her 30 to 40 euros for the whole thing. No, I don't have to go into college, but I still have online lessons almost every day, and I have a lot of coursework. Screenshots are posted on my profile if you're interested. Oh, and then they say again, thank you so much for all the awards. It means so much. I'm trying to respond to as many people as possible, but there's just so many of you. If you want to ask a question, please message me, as I'll probably get back to you much quicker. And then Proper Cupcake 4288 says, how many siblings are there in all? Are you a boy or a girl? OP says, I have 4 sisters and that they are not non-binary. And that's it. That's the whole thing.
Wow. I mean, the level of insanity just went to 1,000 when we realized. I thought OP was like, I'm in college. I'm working a part-time job.
Yeah, I thought they were like in their 20s.
Same, like late, just by the like, I don't know, the way, the maturity, like knitting. I don't know, like it's just something about OP just gave me vibes.
Older
She's like
vibes.
a mature, like older adult, 17 years old.
17 years old.
Are you kidding me?
Cooking. They've already said that they have been cooking for their sister. They've been, what else? They
making a blanket.
They made the blanket.
Crazy.
They're doing all these classes, and they already offered to babysit. And then the sister's like, oh, well, you can just take photographs for me and, like take time out of your day to travel to wherever.
Just do it.
Just do it. And I'm not going to pay you.
I also love how the sister was like, oh, I'll pay your taxi for something that was it a few hours away? Was it 30 minutes, 40 minutes out of town?
It didn't say.
But like, I feel like a taxi, you're already probably getting to 30 or 40 euros at that point.
Yeah.
So it's like, just pay me.
Yeah.
Like, hello?
Come on.
What are we doing here?
Come on.
I think producer Riley was on his grind and did locate the messages
the text
that
messages
were sent.
Ooh, juicy. Okay.
Might need you to do a photography photo shoot for me as lockdown till April, so the man might not be able to do it.
Am I going to get paid?
No. I wasn't paying him either. You can have food and drink.
I'm already making you baby stuff, LMAO, but I might think about it.
What's your point, my sibling?
Just because I'm your sibling doesn't mean I have unlimited time.
You really do, laughing emoji. God, my accent's so bad right now. All you lot do is run around after your mother.
I have college and it's very time consuming. Also, if we're in lockdown, I won't be able to travel.
Laughing emoji. Okay, bonch. You will cause social bubble is a slut. What do you
live
say?
in a different city.
Social bubble. Get a taxi. You lot do it with grandma.
Don't actually.
She's been yours.
She's not traveling, not me.
Still to the same social bubble.
So you're not going to pay me for the photo shoot or the baby stuff, and you want me to travel?
When you lot get taxis, I do not pay for them. Yes, so what's your point?
My point is my time is valuable, and paying for a taxi isn't the same as paying me.
I'll ask blank then, shrugging emoji. Tell mom to stop paying you as well, then for cleaning. Seeing as your time is valuable.
Okay, you do that, and I'll talk to mum about stuff that needs to be discussed.
You do that. So
Anyway, we did the skit.
we did the skit. We've gotten like the full
story
context now. So
Yeah.
what is the official verdict of the sister?
I don't think I actually took any of the conversation in.
Yeah, same here.
But I think from what I've gathered, the sister seems very entitled.
Super
Yeah.
entitled.
Yeah.
Like just the fact that OP is 17. Come on.
Yeah, that's a lot to ask from a 17-year-old who's
on.
in college, which is high school. Because I forgot that they were in Europe.
Right. So they
the
call
UK.
high school college. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, it's
Or is that just
entirely too
Australian?
much.
I think that's because it's an Australian thing, so should be a UK thing.
Yeah. But either way, they're in school. They are.
Because that makes sense because they're not in, she wouldn't be in uni.
Yeah.
They wouldn't be in uni.
Sisters a-hole.
Sisters the a-hole. OP, they're cool. And
Crushing it, actually.
Yeah, crushing it.
OP.
Doing a bunch of work.
Learning photography.
Learning photography.
Going to school.
Knitting a
Knitting
blanket.
a blanket for a baby.
Yeah, no, they're crushing it.
Crazy. But you know who else is crushing it, Sophia?
This next story?
Yes! Let's do it! Pregnant woman yelled at me because I told her, just because you're pregnant doesn't make you special. Am I the a-hole? And Butterfly Bunny 47 says,
Love that name.
I'm not sure when exactly a woman becomes an entitled mom while pregnant, but this pregnant manatee clearly seems entitled. OP!
That's a
OP!
little...
Stop it!
OP, that's a little bit of an a-hole thing to say.
Come on. By the way, I'm from Manatee County, so manatees are sacred to me, okay?
Yeah, manatees are cute.
So
Nice.
shut up.
You've angered John.
Not the manatees. So I was at the gynecologist for an ultrasound, cysts, not pregnant, and the wait is always a bit long. The doctor is great and always has a packed schedule. Pregnant mother was sitting in the waiting room complaining about how her appointment was 30 minutes late and she shouldn't have to wait this long because she was pregnant and a priority. I decided to gently let her know that it's usually a bit backed up here.
Hey, I totally get it. Dr. S is really great, but she's usually a few minutes behind.
Excuse me, did I ask you? Stop being so nosy. That's probably why you're here by yourself.
What's that supposed to mean?
Your baby daddy ain't here with you, and I don't see a ring on it, so you're just a nosy hussy.
That's what she starts throwing punches.
I responded with a snap decision that I regret slightly. Just a reminder, I'm not pregnant.
My husband died in a freak car accident. We were very close. This baby is all I have to remember him by. OP's lying. Just to be clear, OP's lying.
Whoa. Pregnant mother shut her mouth and I was called back quickly after. Turns out my doctor overheard the conversation and wanted to separate us because she was worried about my baby. I explained that I wasn't actually pregnant and I just wanted the woman to shut up. My doctor thought it was funny and gave me a pic of my ultrasound for when I was done. I walked out holding it and fake crying. Oh my God. Pregnant mother was completely red and embarrassed for how she had been so rude and judgmental. She didn't apologize, but I hope she leaves other girls alone in the future, especially when they are just trying to be friendly about annoying waiting times. And final edit, it was my own picture for my ultrasound. I have to get cysts monitored because I just got an IUD to help keep them from rupturing.
That is kind of funny.
It's kind of hilarious. I mean, it's so funny. And the pregnant mother was rude. You nosy hussy.
Yeah, that's a little like what's
What an
the
insult.
name calling in this?
Seriously, like
Who says that?
What did I do to you?
You nosy hussy?
You nosy hussy.
Who says that?
I know a lot of nosy hussies just like you. Can we make nosy hussy a t-shirt
Comment,
now?
if you've ever used that word.
Nosy hussy.
The phrase nosy hussy.
Not just hussy, nosy hussy. Oh my God. New t-shirt in the making.
Honestly, it seems like OP kind of proved the pregnant mother's point because she did get priority when she said that she was pregnant.
Yes, Sophia, yes. That is, wow. Well, they were both pregnant, but she's like, I just usurped your
pregnancy.
basic, you are basic economy pregnant. And I'm like,
first class pregnant.
I'm torn, honestly, because like sometimes it is good to kind of like teach someone a lesson like this.
Yeah, but
and maybe it's a little too far. It was a little too far.
It was funny, but it was a little too far.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We can do one more time.
Another story.
Let's do it.
My baby daddy claims that the kid is not his because I slept with a white guy. Should I get a paternity test? Royal Cucumber 7129 says, for the backstory, I, 20 female, was 19 at the time. So this happened a year ago. Maybe not a year ago now, but a year ago in the story. And had just gotten kicked out of the place I was staying at. I was quite a few states away from any family, so I had slept at my work for 2 days before my male Jamaican coworker offered me a place to stay. It was late October and cold. I was sick of sleeping on cold, hard tile floors, so I accepted. That's really hard.
Yeah,
wow,
what?
I'm sorry. While I was staying with him, I ended up sleeping with him. I stayed with him for 2 weeks before I was picked up to go back to my home state. When I got back to my home state, I stayed with my grandparents as I had nothing to my name. I was working with my grandfather in the electrical business, mind it. At this time, I did not know I was pregnant. I started getting sick at the end of November and brushed it off as the flu, but my grandmother said I was probably pregnant. I denied it profusely, but as it got closer to December, I still felt very sick. I set up an appointment on December 1st with a free mobile clinic and found out I was 2 months pregnant.
Wow.
That's a lot. I contacted the male coworker I had stayed with and informed him I was pregnant. At first, he was excited, but as I was trying to do the math on when I could have conceived it, it showed that either be his or the other guy, and I informed him of this. 2 months later, he completely ghosted me. I went through my pregnancy with only the help of my grandmother and other relatives and friends. As my daughter's due date arrived, I was excited. I had her in mid-July, and it was completely clear she was his as she came out mixed race. The other I had been with was very white. I informed him she was his and mixed. He did not listen and said he wanted nothing to do with my daughter and me. Oh, I filed for child support a few months after I had her. He said he wanted a DNA test. I told him there was a page in the papers that were sent that he could request it. I have not heard from him or the state he resides in about any more details. I plan on contacting him to see if he filed the papers or if I have to get my state more involved. As of right now, I am my daughter's mommy and daddy. She is 3 months old now, and I adore her.
Oh, whoa.
Sorry, I should have given a break there. I thought it was longer.
We just plowed straight through.
We went, straight through that.
So Sophia is now, on the show, but we've read, actually I think over 2,500 stories at this point. So one thing that happens a lot in these stories is these guys get these crazy, completely unfounded ideas of like, oh, my wife is cheating on me because like my cousin Bob, that just happened to him and he took a DNA test. So babe, I need you to get a DNA test for our brand new baby. Happens a lot. It's happened all the time on this show. This situation, however, does not seem like the one is not like the other.
No.
There were, even OP was confused. There was 2 potential fathers.
Yes.
So I feel like I can understand the guy that is the father. That's what OP is saying. It seems like it, but we'll call him the father for the sake of this explanation and breakdown. The father is like, I don't know. And like, maybe that's not my kid.
Yeah, but I mean,
needs to get the DNA test.
She's already filed. She said that he can get the DNA test with the state. And she said that the baby is mixed race. So it's kind of...
Seems like it's his. Yeah.
Of course, like if it's like a one night thing, he can be like, hey, I just want, that's, I guess, within his rights. But he needs to do a bit of the work.
It's a tough one, right?
Yeah.
I think like at the end of the day, it seems like the baby is his. Taking the DNA test, if that's 100% proven, then it's like, all right, this literally is your child.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we don't know what state they're in or what, but like almost certainly there is. I mean, basically OP's like, hey, I want to sue for child support, essentially.
Yes.
So like work with me here. And another thing that we've said on the show a lot is like, you did the act. You're responsible.
Yeah.
Like he chose.
Even if he doesn't know, that's on him to go be like, okay, I'm going to request this DNA test.
Exactly.
I'm going to find out first.
Yeah.
And then in the case that it is true, then pay your child support.
He needs to get the DNA test.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's unfortunate because he actually, another rare thing is like, he seemed excited.
Oh, and then she was like, oh, well, I'm not quite sure.
If
and
it's
he was
you
like,
or this other guy. Oh, wait a second. The math is math and here's what it was. Yeah.
I don't know. If he was excited at first, I would have been like, let's double check it.
Yeah. Like, yeah.
Because this might be my child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He needs to do the DNA test.
He does.
He's got to do it to see if that is actually his child. And then at the end of the day, if that's your child, you played a part.
Yeah.
Sir, you did that.
Pay the part.
Buddy, you played the part, so pay the part.
Yeah, I think in this case, because like sometimes I'm like, oh, this like asking for DNA test is kind of, sometimes a little weird. But because they didn't really have a relationship, it was just kind of, it seems like it was like more of a.
And she was unsure.
Yeah, and
right?
she was unsure. In that case, I'd be like, okay, yeah, get a DNA test. But he just kind of ghosted.
Yeah. In the situations where the guy is asking the wife, it's not just saying you cheated. That's one thing. It's saying you had a baby and lied to me to get me to raise it.
Yeah.
It's a humongous accusation. Yeah.
I
Which
think
happens all the time.
Yeah.
In
and
these
like,
stories.
of course, sometimes you might be right, but like, you gotta be sure.
You gotta come correct.
You gotta be
my
sure.
sir.
Because if you're wrong. Yeah, but in this case, it is different.
Both sides need the DNA test.
Yeah, you need it.
Absolutely. Yeah. We found out that places like France, paternity tests are illegal because it causes so much.
Oh, because apparently there's a lot of adultery in France. That's what they say.
They're slanging their wangs around, so they just want to keep society calm and at peace.
Yeah.
They're like the peace is worth it. Everybody, let's make this collective effort. But I think we're nearing the end of our saga, but I think we have not just a story, but
my favorite thing ever.
A call from a caller. So let's tee it up.
Am I the asshole for not telling my sister that I'm pregnant with twins?
My sister, we'll just call her Sarah, she runs her mouth to the family and she likes to spread everybody's business, and I can't trust her. I haven't been able to trust her since high school because she spread some business about me and that I told her secretly she was my sister, quote unquote, and I'm supposed to trust her, but I don't. And then she ended up using that against me when we got into a fight until I told my parents about it, and it was just this big old argument. Besides the point, I chose not to tell her, and my mom was telling me that you should tell your sister because she said that, don't you think your sister is going to feel bad that you didn't tell her that you're pregnant? Okay, so it sounds like it was
everyone else knows.
Pregnant, also pregnant in general, and not just pregnant with twins. It wasn't like, she already knew she was pregnant and had twins. It's like, she did tell her you're pregnant, period. And I was like, I don't care. She can feel bad all she wants. If she really wanted me to like tell her, then maybe she should make more of an effort for me to trust her instead of always showing me time and time again not to trust her. So am I the a-hole for not telling her that I'm pregnant?
I guess what's the reason that you're not, like, are you waiting for an announcement? Because in that case, no.
It sounds to me like she's like, I don't like you. Like, I don't like you. I don't trust you.
Yeah.
You suck. So I'm just not going to tell you.
Yeah. If you're keeping it a secret, then no, you're not the a-hole. Like if you're waiting for a big moment, but I guess, it's your right. It's your baby.
Well, we're
going to talk to you.
We do have one way to actually ascertain that information. I
want to know the info.
Riley, let's call her up. Do we have a name? No.
No.
Hey, this is John from OKOP. We actually just read your story and would love to chat about it and have you on the show. If you have a few minutes, just call us back. Thank you. Well, rats. The world possibly might never know. I'm reading in between the lines, but I kind of feel like there was this incident in high school, some business in high school where she lost her trust, and also I'm gonna kind of just guess there was like many more. Like that, this is kind of like the tip of the iceberg, and she's almost like, it kind of seems like she's no contact with the sister.
Yeah, which in that case don't feel bad at all.
It seems like there's a lot more that maybe she didn't have time to explain in a very short voicemail. Tragically, we did not get through on this one. But if you want to call us, you can call 440-508-6567. Call in with your stories and we'll call you back and have you on the show. Sometimes
we'll call you back.
Well, that's a rap-a-doodle-doo for today. If you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you
and see you tomorrow.